And my purpose of this video is to walk you around, show you a real life fan page, and show you the process of why you need to have targeted Facebook fan page likes. Now, while that may seem like a no-brainer, I want to share with you the whole process, how it works from the beginning to the end, so that you understand how to set up your Facebook fan pages, because your Facebook fan page may not be set up correctly to actually implement this strategy. All right. So when it comes down to it, you want to make sure, number one, that you choose an image of a person that fits the demographics of your fan page. Now, obviously, if that is you, that's fine, that's great. But if your demographics are primarily women, you might want to choose a woman of that age. If it's men, choose men, and so forth. So as you can see here, this image here, I'm using a royalty-free image of a woman because that fits this demographic. Now, I want to show you something really cool because I haven't really touched this particular fan page in months, but yet it still runs itself simply because I'm utilizing the strategy of honing in on very, very specific targeted audiences. So as you can see here, I have just reached 20,000 page likes. And if it averages out to about a penny a like, then that's about $200. But realistically, when we ran the campaign, it was about 3 cents to about 5 cents. Now, like I said, we haven't really touched this for months and almost half a year, but it still runs itself. Now, as you can see, the content that I'm using, they're basically images with quotes on them. And we chose the quotes that relate to the audience so that it resonates with them. So as you can see, 120 people were reached, 3 engagements, and this was actually released just a couple hours ago. And here's another one. So as you can see here, this was released actually a couple days ago. Another quote on an image. You can see 182 people were reached, 2 engagements, and 2 people liked this particular content piece. So what I'm showing you is, and I want you to understand, is that once you run these like campaigns, even if you stop them, because the traffic is so targeted, the engagement continues on. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. It just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. And the $200 that you invest for the 20,000 or the 10,000 likes, that will continue on and on for months to come. So I want you to understand and be able to see that in the future so that you understand that, this is not just a one-off thing and it's just gonna tank kind of thing. Now, in terms of how to create these images with the quotes, I will actually show you a tool that we use that you'll be able to get the quotes and you'll be able to get the images, and it's just a matter of clicking a few buttons and you'll be able to create these tiny pieces of content really, really fast. What we found through testing is that most people, once they visually see something and they see a quote that resonates with them and the quote relating to the image, it actually creates an impact. It makes them intrigued. It gets them to engage. So we'll talk about that in future videos, but for now, I really just wanted to show you that what we do here is we run an ad campaign and we target people specifically towards this image. Now, when we create the campaign, which I'll show you in just a minute, we don't target just one generic thing. So we actually target, typically we do research and find out, is there a business, is there a software app, is there a website that relates to this here? And then we target that audience with something motivational like this. And what ends up happening is Facebook notices, there's an engagement, and there's even engagement even after the ads are finished running. So that means that this fan page must be good. It must be having a good experience to get people to come and back. Here's another example. So I went to the notifications, and as you can see here, it is actually November 30th as I'm recording this, but you can see that it's November 12th, 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 12th. So this obviously attracted somebody who might have been the person who clicked on the ad, or it might have been the friend of the friend. See, so a lot of times people share motivational quotes or something that resonates with them, and then the snowball effect just continues. So even if you get 10,000 likes, that 10,000 likes could multiply to 15 or even 20,000 likes over time. Now, obviously, there is going to be a drop off if you haven't touched it for months or even years. But the point here is that if you do have the ad campaigns running, you should just continue that snowball effect. Now, on top of this, I want to mention that when it comes to running ads, a lot of times if you find that a image resonates with that of that country, that specific niche in that country. So even if it resonates really well with people in Bangladesh, and then you find that it resonates with another third tier country, that's a good sign, because now you're able to test what images actually work and what images don't work, and which images are actually converting into page likes. So that's something that we figured out. So instead of trying to test things in the United States of America or United Kingdom or Canada up front, because what will end up happening is you'll spend thousands of dollars trying to test things out, trying to figure things out, versus you're testing pennies of a dollar with these penny likes, and you're testing images to see which one works. And then you take that information and then you set it up and you target it towards a tier one country. That is when you are able to kind of set things up for success, which we'll talk about more in the next video. But I wanted to show you this for now so that you can kind of get some motivation that this is going to work for you if you follow the steps and if you create the targeted campaigns with the targeted content pieces. Now, you might be asking, well, this is all great, but how do I make money as a business, with the system? Well, what I'm showing you now is mainly the engagement side of things. So when Facebook allows you to run ads, for example, a lot of times they will disapprove your ads. But what we've seen over time is that a few things, if you spend more money in terms of ads and your site gets a lot of engagement and it has a lot of likes, like 20,000 likes, it tends to not disapprove your ads as much. So that's just something that we found over testing. So instead of spending thousands of dollars figuring that out for yourself, you can learn that from us. So think of this kind of like the engagement machine and the social proof and authority building machine. And on the other side, on the back end, you can run ads that have nothing related to this. So that way you can get a better relevance score. Basically what that means is that you're driving ads, you're driving traffic, people are coming to your Facebook fan page or your ad and they're engaging with it. And we'll talk more about how what we're talking about here, this strategy creates a winning strategy for you in the next video. Hello and welcome back. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how the likes that you generate are going to help you create a winning strategy. So I gave you kind of a bird's eye view of how it can help you build social proof, engagement, authority, and then expand to testing different content pieces, and then of course applying that to tier one countries. So I wanted to give you an example here and show you what my Facebook Ads Manager looked like and what that looked like in terms of different campaigns, different ad sets, different ads that have been set up utilizing this strategy, and what that looks like so that you can apply that yourself. So I wanted to show you real quick. These different rows are showing different countries. So you can't really see it now, but as I scroll down, you'll see it in just a minute. So generally speaking, we'll run daily budgets of about $1 to $5. Now you can see some of these are getting 29 likes, 221 likes, and then you can see the results. And then of course you can see the cost per result. So some of these are getting about 9 cents a like. And then some of these are getting 3 cents or 1 cent. And then some are getting, 34 cents. Now, I want to be transparent and honest and say that the majority of times you will not start out of the gate with a campaign that is getting you 1 cent or even 3 cents per like. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So this is when it comes down to testing different images. You see, a lot of times when you're trying to figure out what actually resonates with your audience, it's really hard, right? If you're doing like search engine optimization, it's kind of hit or miss. You're guessing and trying to figure out what is actually resonating with people. And a lot of times, because SEO takes time, it takes sometimes months to about 6 months, you may never even know what is working and what is not working until half a year later. But with paid ads, yes, you do have to spend a little bit of money, but what you're trying to do here is you're buying data. So I want you to understand that when you run ads, you're not necessarily trying to get a result right away. You're trying to see where the market goes, where your audience goes in terms of steps. Okay, they take a step, they like your page. What next? Do they like your page? Do they not? Is there a reason why? Does the sales copy or the words that you use resonate with them? Do the images resonate? Do they not? So I briefly touched base on this previously, but being able to test things out with pennies is a lot better than having to spend dollars, right? Or pounds or euros. So as you can see here, if I scroll down, you can see that for some of these, I've targeted the US and gotten it down to about 7 cents, which is not bad. But as you can imagine, if I tested it out, like over here, this is US stores, it would have been about 34 cents just out of the gate, or even more. Sometimes it would be actually $1 per like. So if I scroll down here, you can see Asia. This encompasses Asia, excluding Philippines. And I got about $1 daily budget, 8,371 page likes. So that's the result. And then, of course, cost per result was 1 cent. So we spent $92 and we got a good amount of likes. Now, whenever I see this, I want to break things down further and maybe test out a different image and see what works. Now, as you can see here, we've targeted the Philippines, and you can target a country and then a specific age group. What I recommend is you target the age group that has been resonating or that looks like your customers. If your customers are mainly like 50 to 70, then focus on that. But at the same time, you don't want to disregard potential audiences that might be interested in your product. So as we scroll down here, we've got Philippines, 3,848 likes for about 2 cents. So we scroll down further. When it says third W, that's third world countries. So those are tier 3 countries. And I basically just took a bunch of third world countries and just put them all into one campaign. Now, ideally, you would probably want to split them up into different countries, but just to make things faster, I did that. So as you can see here, I've got penny likes, literally pennies right there. Now, like I said, bear in mind that even though these are third world or even tier 1, 2, or 3 countries, or mostly tier 2 and 3 countries, the fact that they're targeted means that they are going to like, comment, and share the posts that are actually going to go up on the Facebook fan page. You see what I mean? So that's what is powerful about this is you get the engagement aspect, which actually will help you in the long run. So the goal here is to just make you aware that going down this route, testing these tier 2 and 3 countries is actually a really good thing. And that is something that your competitors are not doing. A lot of times they'll disregard it because they're thinking, well, it's not targeted. I'm not targeting, people overseas or anything like that. So this is thinking outside of the box. Okay, so what I just showed you previously, those were the ad sets. And the ad sets allows you to target a specific country, a specific demographic. Now, right below that, you have the ad level. And these are ads or images, content, headlines, and all of that. So as you can see here, this allows me to test different images, what resonates and what doesn't. And this image right here, I put a $7 daily budget. It got 3,641 page likes for a penny each. And the relevance score was 7, and that's actually good. So a lot of times people will get relevance scores of 1 or 2 or 3, and that's not a good thing, because if it's low like that, what will end up happening is you'll actually spend more money. The higher the relevance score, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10, the lower you will actually pay, because Facebook wants to reward people who have ads that create a good experience, right? So if we scroll down further, we can see for the most part, it's relevant score 7 and then 8. So this one did really well. This one was 7. This one was 6. And then we look at the 6 and then we're like, okay, this one actually got a decent amount of page likes. Even though it was a lower relevant score, it made it up for it with a good amount of page likes. So you do want to take into consideration the likes, the cost, and all of that before you decide, okay, this is not a good image, this is not a good text, or anything like that. So I wanted you to see this so that you understand the process and that you understand that it all starts from a targeted like, and then it goes from there all the way down here, and then it creates that snowball effect that generates more likes and more engagement to your Facebook fan page.